it back.
Yeah, we know who Big K battled last, and we know who Pat battled last. And
Sure.
if the Pat that battled DNA shows up to battle the Big K that just battled JC, it's gonna be a long night for Pat. Long ass
Mm-hmm.
night.
Mm-hmm. I feel like anything Pat's gonna do, Big K actually does better, and people find more charismatic. Like the real talk shit,
Big
I
K's
could see Big
grittier
K doing it
looking, so he
better.
can do it. Pat sounds
Yep.
like he's repenting when he raps about his real shit, and that's why it doesn't come
Yeah,
off
like
like
he's always upset. He's always like feeling bad about it, and like just kind of shedding like a dark angle on it.
which I guess as a
Whereas,
person I respect that, but I don't give a fuck about you as a person, Pat Stay. I don't know you.
yeah,
I don't know
right.
you.
Like it's
So
good to know that you regret doing all the bad things you did, but when the guy across from you is talking about how he's like ready to bang the hammer in your face, I'm not really that worried about it.
exactly. It's just it loses steam. So like
Yeah.
Pat needs to get back on his aggressive tip, which I know might be difficult for him. He's not roided out of control like he was when he battled Thesaurus. But but that's the Pat that needs to show up if he's gonna have any chance of like really standing with Big K. And he can still joke too. Big K jokes. Big
Mm-hmm.
K's a whole
Mm-hmm.
package battler now too. They're both
Mm-hmm.
charismatic, but you can't coast on that shit.
No.
It's not gonna work on this guy. Do you think this ranks in Pat's top 5 hardest battles he's ever had? What do you think?
Mm, I have to look at his resume.
I mean, we know the legends he's battled. I'd say Arse was a decently hard performance, and I think a lot of people say he lost that. I haven't seen that in a little while, but I do remember it decently well.
I do
And
too, kind of.
Arse did his
See,
time limit bullshit and his extra round stuff, but it was good. So what do we,
well,
you call a winner? I know it's easy to call in your opinion, but I want to hear you.
between Big K and Pat,
Yeah, give me Big K and Pat as a winner.
I'm gonna give Pat a round. I'm gonna say 2-1 Big K,
Which round?
and that's being generous.
I want to say the first.
No, I'm gonna say if they both try to do a round where they either angle or clown each other in some way, rather than just writing, like just writing heads up, Big K is gonna beat Pat every round. But I just feel like Pat might be able to do something differently in one round that might edge him around. That's all.
Okay.
But he's not going to be able to do something over the course of 3 rounds better than Big K. Like even if Big K can just punch him for 3 rounds, and he's going to win 2 of those 3 rounds at least.
Yeah, that's true.
That's how I feel.
But that actually puts it in an interesting light really quickly because what I'm thinking is what if Pat decides I'm going to just punch for 2 rounds? That'd be different for
that
one.
would, if Pat does it and does it like I would assume he probably could do effectively, because I know, and like you have to respect his writing. Um, it might be a better bet for him than if he comes out and tries to just do his normal shit, which whatever that may be.
I would
Like it
actually
might be
love to
more
see
intriguing
Pat
to see
just
Pat try
punch.
to just head to head with Big K and just go in there and box back and forth with punches.
See, that's a much more interesting match. I don't want to see Pat
Mm-hmm.
try to talk to Big K. Big K knows what he's done.
No,
He's been to jail. He's cool. He gets it. He doesn't need a life lesson. I don't want one
and he
from
doesn't
you.
give a fuck. He doesn't give a fuck about what the guy across from him or anyone in that room is saying.
He's just trying to rap.
So yeah, so it deflates any real talk that you're going to attempt. I mean, listen to him. There's a spot in him versus JC where a guy in the crowd literally goes, "What are you doing?" And he goes, "Whatever the fuck I want," in the middle of the battle. Like he doesn't care what you're, like.
Yeah, I feel. But that's part of his appeal, though. He is there
Mm-hmm.
to punch your head off in the ring, and he doesn't give a fuck about your
Out
material
rap
because
you and
more
then
than
get the
likely he
fuck out
hates
of
it.
there.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
So I don't want to see Pat come swaggy Pat or come out there with the stumbles. I don't want to see him stumbling around his rounds
No.
like he did against DNA.
Well, he does it every time lately that he does this repenting real talk round. He slips up like almost to the point where you don't know if it's the emotion getting to him or if it's just the lack of preparedness or whatever.
Do you think we see Pat Stay cry in this battle?
If a tear slides down his cheek after slicing someone's throat, I'm turning the battle off. Or I'm giving it to Big K 3-0. I don't want to hear that shit.
Yeah, okay.
You know?
I feel. Although I'll be real, I liked that line. like I'll cut your throat with a tear running down my cheek. The way he delivered that
Yeah.
against Diz was pretty hard. Let's not lie.
Yeah, all right. We'll call a winner. You haven't called your winner.
On principle, I got to give it to Big K 2-1, but I'm prepared to see Pat Stay beat Big K. And why I'm prepared to see it is because we've rarely, if ever, seen Pat in the underdog position.
That's true. Do you think so that makes me wonder, have we seen Pat in an underdog position?
I'm thinking, and I can't think of anybody we like. Maybe Cal, maybe. Were people
Yeah,
saying
and
Calico was
maybe
going to
not
kill
going.
him?
I don't know. I don't know if he went into that looking like an underdog. He might have came out of it looking like the underdog.
Revisionist history is a problem here.
Yeah, right. You know where he probably went in as the underdog?
Oh,
Hollow Down.
ah, yeah, there you go. That is, and he did really well against Hollow. Like that was a good battle.
Mm-hmm. What about him and Ilmac? I don't know if he was an underdog
He
though. That was
wasn't.
pretty high.
Ilmac was, and he left Earth, and that was a good thing. I don't know where
Yeah.
that performance went against Fresco after that, but that's it's whatever. He'll be back. Which I'm hoping we see him on Mass 3. Which all right, let's segue from here from Mass 3 into Arsenal versus Iron Solomon.
Yep.
Let's talk about it.
So we've got Arsenal and Iron Solomon. Is this going to be Arsenal's last battle on KOTD?
I've heard.
And then and if it is, are we going to see? I got to be honest with you. For starters, I'm happy that Iron Solomon is on the card, but I kind of wish he was battling somebody else.
I like this battle a lot.
You do?
I really like this battle. I like it better than him versus the Saurus right now, actually.
You like Arsenal and Solomon better than Solomon versus Thesaurus?
Right now. Right
All
now
right.
I do. And there's a reason. It's because everyone already wants to see Iron in the Saurus. But the Saurus is a legend in the West Coast.
Right.
Let him take that battle there. Let Iron leave territory, which he's been doing, but let him leave New York, come to the West, see their legend, the one that he's already battled and is apparently ducking and needs to see again. That'll be fire. At the same time, I don't know which one I want first, him and Thesaurus or him and Ilmac.
No, I'm 100% with you that I would rather see Iron versus Ilmac than any other matchup outside of possibly Iron versus Hollow. And I think I'd still rather see Iron versus Ilmac than Iron versus Hollow.
I like that there's still matches for Iron, though. That's
yeah,
really
and I like that as long as Iron keeps delivering this like high grade battling that he's come back with, all his potential matchups are fantastic, high tier matchups.
Just don't offer him the chain because then it becomes significantly less interesting to see him battle people.
Yeah, exactly. I would agree with that too. And I think I would assume he has no interest in it either.
I don't know why you would.
So we got Arsenal coming off of a loss against Chile.
I've heard about that.
And we've got Iron coming off of
a solid battle versus Clips. I don't remember if he won or not. I watched that one time.
Well, Clips had a whole round about him having one ball.
I think Iron... Ars is going to have lines like that. I mean, he might devote a round to it, which I'm scared of.
Yeah. It's so hard to bet against Iron right now with how good he's been since his return on KOTD.
I like Arsenal after losses, though.
That's what I'm going to say. And then you got to add in the fact that we're getting towards the end of the year. Like, this may be his last KOTD battle unless he does like his World Dom at the end of the year. Yeah, World Dom I think is usually in like October or something.
I think so.
I don't know. This might be one of the last, if not the last, showings we see from him.
Well, give me a winner.
You got to make me go first on this shit, huh?
I do.
I have to go with who I have more faith in coming, like with their consistency and with the run that they're on, not with who I think might have the more potential to have a better battle. I think Arsenal has the higher potential to have the better battle, but I'm going to say Iron. I'm going to say Iron, and I have to say 2-1, not just because it's the safe, like, scapegoat answer, but because it's hard enough for me to call a winner as it is, that it's even harder for me to believe that Ars wouldn't even get a round.
I think I'm gonna have to go with Iron 3-0, and not because I don't like Arsenal, not because I don't think
Ooh.
Arsenal will do good, but because I think that Iron has enough advantages on this like location of this battle,
Especially at
the
KOTD. Yep.
crowd that he's gonna be able to pander to, white boy
Yep.
boosts against the black guy. It's just subconscious. We can't help it. Acknowledge it. It's battle
Ooh,
rap. Moving
calling
on.
this is the first 3-0 we're gonna call on Bodycast.
Yeah, but think about it though.
I mean, like I wouldn't be mad at the call. First of all, I don't know. I don't know. And you're very right. You know, apart like if we have the Iron Solomon that came like B Magic, you know,
Iron's been in
against
his
the
fucking
Ars.
bag like the entire time
He's
he's been back.
Yeah, we have like a 10 of 10 Iron Solomon coming with an arsenal that has been anywhere from like 6 of 10 to 8 of 10, with the potential maybe to be 10 of 10 because of the standards.
Yeah.
So yeah, I could see it. You know, that's it. That's the bold call. So
All right.
I like it.
I'll stick with it. I'm gonna stand by it.
While we're still on the topic of Mass 3, are there any battlers that you're hoping are announced? Any battles you're thinking are announced?
Fresco and B Magic. I want to see
That
Fresco
is
and
a
B Magic.
that is a Nakaya like unlimited. Not that I don't know if either of those two guys would be potentially expensive.
I don't even know
but
what Fresco charges. He doesn't talk about it. I want to assume he charges a decent fee. Like I want to give him like $1,000 maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm sure it's I don't know. I'm sure it's more than that would be my guess.
You think so?
Yeah, probably.
I don't know. I don't feel like Fresco is a super crowd drawer. He's just really like loved by the fans. I don't know if he
I
sells
think he's
tickets.
a super KOTD crowd drawer though. You
Yeah,
announce
right.
Fresco on a card and
People are lit about it. You're
yeah.
right.
But I mean, that would be a great battle. I could see that. I'd really like to see I
I
don't
want to see
know.
someone debut on a mass card, and I want it to be a battle that's good enough to warrant it being a debut.
Do we think we're gonna have like the Shoddy P on there
Shoddy
and
P
like
versus
A
Pass?
Ward and Shoddy P versus Pass has been a battle that we've talked about before that
Yeah.
I could see happening. And Pass is coming off a good battle with Nestle.
Yeah, that'd be a
Shoddy
good look for
P
him.
just battled Charlie Clips, and actually I think
Okay.
Shoddy P took that battle.
Is that
believe I
saying a
had it.
lot though?
No,
Like
but what
after a
you
certain
still have to
point-
take it.
Yeah, okay. Like if he won, I'll give that to him. Hey, you beat Clips. Like cool.
Yeah,
Welcome to the
obviously
club.
the
but
clips of the last 2 years, no, you know, that's like saying Rum Nitty beat Clips. Like you're still going to add it to your resume, but
it's got
it's
an
tarnished
asterisk
because
beside
we
it.
haven't had exactly. You know, we haven't seen the Charlie Clips that really warrants like bragging about being Charlie Clips in a long time.
Yeah, I feel.
Right.
What else do you like? Any other particular people you want to see on mass? I want to see Ilmac, but I'm not sure who against. Maybe JC.
Ilmac would be great. I think Ilmac probably won't be on it because they've announced that he's going to be in the like Battle of the Zay Royal Rumble, and I think those are relatively close in time. Maybe not. Maybe I'm
Alright.
off. But I think, judging from how often Ilmac has been on the Ruin Your Day, like little live videos where they do watches and stuff, and just hearing people talk to him and hearing him talk about battling, I do think he's going to be back. And I think Mass would be an awesome time to do it. I wish he could. And I would pretty much be happy seeing him battle anyone. Like I don't care.
Let's tangent off that for a sec before we move on to the other cards that we're going to talk about. But
Yeah.
let's talk about potential opponents left for Ilmac besides Iron.
Besides Iron.
Besides
Okay.
Iron Solomon.
So first things first,
I'll
I'm just
jump
gonna
out at it. JC.
All right, yeah, go.
I want to see JC versus Ilmac. I've been suggesting it for 3 years, all over the place.
Would it on KOTD?
Yes.
Is that where it would be?
Yes. But the thing is, JC works on KOTD. A bunker card for JC versus Ilmac? Oh, dude.
Who did JC battled Psychosis at Back to Basics?
Yes.
That was in LA, right? Or
Yes, it
in a
was.
West Coast
And
scene?
the crowd sort of slept on his material. Sort of. There was some stuff
Yeah.
they definitely fucked with.
It wasn't a great battle.
No, it wasn't.
Like it wasn't that great of a battle, and that's coming from. I mean, you and I are both huge JC fans, so
I'm a Psychosis fan. I appreciate him. He's just kind of bland.
yeah, I have nothing against him. I don't, if he never battles again, which he hasn't. Like nothing changes for me.
But if he does,
But
I'll
I've
check it out.
appreciated all of his battles. Yeah, you know, going Jonai and him was a good battle.
Mhm. But anyway,
He's all
Ilmac,
right.
who else do you want to see him against? Jonah, actually. Have they battled? They haven't battled.
No, but I don't know. Jonah is going to have to do more after that Chilla battle comes out. I mean, he lost to Chilla pretty decisively. I don't know if he's going to be like Ilmac's return is going to be probably a main event battle. No,
No, actually.
you don't think so?
Not after the way he left off on Roan. Not really. And
I
it's
just
not
feel like
because
he's been.
Ilmac's not worth a main event battle. It's because
You just think his stock dropped so severely from that battle?
that performance was not good, man. Coming off leaving Earth against one of the biggest threats on your league, and then you lost to Roan, who I'm not saying is not a threat, but you lost badly to Roan.
Yeah, it wasn't a good battle. I think enough time has passed. Like there's a couple there's like a cheat code with battlers, I feel like, where if you sit long enough and you're not a douchebag and you have had good battles and then you start to slowly come into the limelight in some other fashion, whether you're sitting there watching battles on stage and events
People want to
or
see
like
you.
yeah, they start to like you naturally, regardless of who you are. Like fucking Tink the Demon. People were psyched to see Tink at BL5, like because they hadn't seen him on a URL stage, and everyone was like, "Well, I heard he lost here, but it wasn't,
Who
wasn't
did
on
he
URL."
battle? Saga?
At BL5, yeah,
Yeah.
that's the one where he passed out in the first round.
Oh my, what?
They still haven't. I'm sure that's why they haven't released it yet because they're probably still trying to edit through it.
Keeping company with Cortez in the vault.
Yeah. But no, I think that's almost like its own separate cheat code that you're not only people want you back, but people are eager to see you win.
That's true. Taking a long enough break, and it's like, man, where has so and so been?
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So, has he battled Diz?
Who, Ilmac?
Yeah.
Long time ago, I feel like.
Okay. Grind
Yeah,
time
they've
now.
battled. They've battled. It was a promo. It was like back when promo was a thing that people noted about a battle.
Yeah.
This is 8 years ago. God damn.
I don't think. I mean, as I say it out loud, and after seeing how Diz has been battling, that's not something that I would want to see, anyways.
I'm glad.
But I'm just
I
feeling
really
like
don't.
that's kind of like the echelon of where I think KOTD would want to place him. Like they're not going to give him like an A Ward or a Shoddy P or
I would like to see Ilmac battle Peanut, actually.
I think out of
would love
everyone
that.
you've specifically named, I'm actually starting to like the idea of Ilmac versus Jonai more.
Because that's like a real, like, technical, deep rappers concept round kind of thing.
Yeah, a lot of content, a lot of layered. Yeah,
But the same thing could
okay.
be said for Ilmac versus like Peanut. Ilmac is still a really good like syllabics built rapper, and that's all Peanut does inside of his punches. I think it'd be interesting stylistically. There might not be a storyline, but I think it'd be a good battle.
Yeah.
Let's move
high
on.
thought. Here's a high thought for you.
let's
Mirror
take it.
match battle. Rub Nitty and Ill Will versus Big K and Immaculate. Stylistically,
That
it's
would
like a
be
big man and a
great.
little man. A big man and a little man on each side.
The thing is, Big K takes up 3 portions of 4 quarters of that team because he's the gun bar rapper too. The only
Yeah,
thing that
I know.
Ilmac has that might match up with Rum Nitty is forced aggression. Beyond that,
there's nothing that's gonna really help their case in other terms, especially like on a where would that battle be hosted? I guess, but
I don't know.
I don't know.
Don't flop.
Something about it just made me think of it.
Don't Flop would book that.
Don't Flop USA in Atlanta or something.
They'd book that. But anyway, that's a good segue into this 2-on-2. Let's talk Double Impact.
Yes, sir.
Let's talk about it. We here now.
Double Impact is coming out. We've got 5 battles on the card. Second installment of last year's 2-on-2 only card. Some of the announcements. We've got Rum Nitty and Ill Will versus Math Hoffer and Cortez. What are your
Fire.
thoughts on that?
It's gonna be Rum Nitty and Ill Will. Those are 2 of the most, like, they're loved and respected for their longevity in the game, but you can beat Math Hoffa and Cortez, especially if you're arguably one of the best punchers in the game right now, and arguably one of the
Facts.
other best punchers in the game, but has more charisma.
Tons
too.
of performance and yeah.
No, like, this will be a great team, full on great team, and I don't think Math and Cortez will do well.
I think personally, looking at the card, just seeing the names, I'm more excited for these 2 people teamed up than anybody else. And that could be partially, I mean, if I name 5 people on URL right now that I think are the best and my favorite, Ill Will and Rum Nitty might both be on that. Rum Nitty absolutely is, along with probably JC and maybe Tay Rock. I don't know, but
you know what? I need to, let me cut you off for a second. I need to take something back. It's not that I don't think Math and Cortez will do well, because that's a lie. They did good against Verb and Young Ill. Like, they had a good performance there.
Is that not the battle with the Millie Rock?
It is.
Punch, which is like probably renowned as like the loudest and hardest reaction of last year.
Yeah, no, I'm bugging a little bit.
I mean, they just probably have a ton of chemistry. They live close together. They're very good friends.
They're both from the same area, state.
I did hear, and I don't know if it was on Angry Fan or PSA or where, I did hear that Ill Will was flying out for like a week or something to Arizona to chill with Nitty and work on their battle. So at least we know that there's some form of like, coordination and practice and preparation between them.
Then I have high hopes for this. I'm going to call 2-1 Rum and Ill.
I am calling 3-0.
3-0?
3-0 Rum Nitty and Ill Will. I think they're going to get the crowd in the first and never let off the gas.
The second 3-0 call.
Mm-hmm. And I'm pretty, I think, especially, and it's going to sound fucked up, but I don't think Cortez or Math are really that popular on URL anymore. I don't think they hold a lot of weight, and I think they're going against 2 of the most popular, charismatic people on the stage.
Cortez,
and if they make one,
it speaks for itself.
Right. And, Cortez gets a lot of hate, and that's a whole nother topic that we can discuss in some other podcast. Yeah. But I just don't think it's almost like they said, apart from the fact that they have I would assume way more together, more practice and just chemistry better together. I think they're pretty much getting set up to be slaughtered.
Yeah.
I think Ill Will and Rum Nitty are going to destroy them. A point that we may want to segue into here as well about the previous Rum Nitty and Ill Will is that they were actually supposed to face Marvin Quest.
Oh.
And Marvin Quest declined. Yes, I believe that they were set up to face Marvin Quest. I think that's who, and I should probably fact check that, except I know it was in a Jay Black video from today, so we might both have to sift through it. But Marvin Quest were slated to be on the card. It was definitely against them. They were slated to be on the card, and for whatever reason, they said the timing just didn't work for them, which is fine. Marv is definitely very active in music, so he could be doing something.
Honestly,
but for whatever,
I feel worse about that if that's the matchup they gave them. I would rather have seen Marvin Quest versus Hitman and Verb. That's the battle I was hoping for on this card.
I think Tech 9 basically said that explicitly on the Jay Black on the champion thing.
I believe it.
Yeah. Exactly what you just said. That it was either what he said was, why aren't Clips and Goods battling Hitman and Verb?
We're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to Clips and Goods. Let's talk Big T and Saga for a second.
So, all right. Big T and Saga. We got Saga coming off a Tink battle. We've got Big T coming off of a loss against QB, right?
Yeah. Pretty bad.
Who did they battle last year at
Big
Double
T and
Impact?
Saga, I believe John and Clips, I want to say.
I think you're right. I'm going to look for you right now and confirm. But I think Big T and the Saga right there. They battled John and Clips.
Hey, memory's working, boys.
And I believe John and Clips won that battle, did they not?
They did. I didn't expect that team to be bad in any way, though. John's fire, and if you don't think so, you're a hater. I'm sorry.
I like John too. I've always liked John.
Other people hate him, and I like that he rolled with the stealing bars. He was like, "Fuck y'all, I'm gonna keep doing it, and I'm gonna do it well too."
Yeah, I mean, the Holocaust denial thing. Shouts out to rap battles right now.
Let's leave it out.
Yeah, I mean, that was the only thing that he really had against him for a lot of people. But as far as a battler, I think he's a good battler.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if it's just because I don't really care for either one of Big T or the Saga that much anymore. But I just think that they're a weird combo too. To me, they look like the two guys that didn't get picked on any of the other teams. and we're like, all right, let's just make our own, I guess, for the
But
class
that's
project,
sort
you
of what
know?
it is, though.
Yeah,
Like
and
they're
I mean
both
that's
NWX. They're the
their
only other battlers in NWX besides Top, and Top won't fuck with anybody but Briz because that's his real life homie. So it's just
right.
like, okay, we need another NWX team. How about Big T
And
and
Top and
Saga?
Saga and Top and Big T would be a horrible team.
Both of them, like you can't put Top and Big T on the same team. They'll break their
No,
side of the
please.
stage.
That'd be a 3-0 body for the other team before they even got up there.
It's true.
There'd be so many like stage weight jokes and like body bag
They just don't
not
do it to
fitting jokes.
yourself. Which that
Yeah.
puts me in the same bag. Let's talk about this next battle. I don't give enough of a crap about Big T and Saga Chesney to really call a winner. I'm
So
gonna call
just
Cakes up 3-0. Moving on.
I'm gonna agree with you simply because Chess alone can beat probably the two of them.
Chess versus Big T needs to happen if it hasn't already.
Maybe it will after this battle. But yeah, just so that we at least have some content on it, I will agree with you. Yeah, all right, 3-0, fuck it. 3-0 Cakes up, moving on.
I can agree with that. And that's actually something I wanted to talk about too, is like they're feeding vets to people and no one wants to acknowledge it. But they're feeding vets to people. Clean was fed to NJT. And I hate to say it out loud, but he was. And
Do you
I like
think
his
it's
material.
just an attempt? Do you think it's an attempt at URL just making a changing of the guard?
It's
Or do
them
you
attempting
think
to
that it's-
legitimize their new guys. They need to. It's important. They're giving them storylines, giving them beef. They're giving them opponents that are already respected. And then they're giving them at either low points in those respected people's careers, or they're just straight up letting them get killed. And that's fine. Like the changing of the guard has to happen. But it is happening.
Yeah, I think it was probably inevitably happening from the looks of it anyway. So they're trying to put pieces together to, like you said, kind of implement at least a storyline and something captivating with a lot of these guys, like
Which,
before some of
props
these
to
other
them.
guys out. Yeah, I mean that's where there's this whole like underlying battle and like wrestling similarity correlation, you know?
Wrestling bars never get old. Moving on. Clips and Goods versus Suge and Ars. Let's go into that stage weight thing really quickly. Why would you put Clips and Goods together? They both big boys.
Oh, come on. Isn't Clips a vegan now and
or
supposedly
some
losing
shit.
weight?
Now, if he comes up there looking skinnier, I'll eat my hat. But beyond that, I don't know. That's a body right there. Like you can go off on that. Suge, but then again, you got Suge on the other side of the stage. So can you really?
So this is the biggest question. Is Goods going to be able to motivate Clips to not slack enough, or is Clips going to think that off of Goods' quote unquote swag and presence and Clips' freestyling, they're going to win?
I think this will be the laziest 2-on-2 we've ever seen.
Yeah, do you?
Yes, and I wholeheartedly believe it. Goods is notorious for how much of a fuck he doesn't give. Clips will come up there and joke around, and he's charismatic, and so is Goods. They could literally joke around for 3 rounds, and it'd be a decent battle by URL standards.
You know, the other thing to look at, too, is when, and I'm looking right now, Double Impact is June 24th, okay? A month later, Ars has Iron Solomon.
I don't know. I think Ars can deal with a heavy plate. He's done it before. He's no.
I guess in a 2-on-2, it's probably not as bad too.
I'd argue it's harder actually. You have to work on like choreography and performance, especially as for like this event. You have to have like performance bars and shit. I'd say this is harder to prepare for, but I do think that Arsenal's talented enough to bring a decent
like it's not
performance
going to
this.
affect him.
Yeah, but if that's the case, I feel even more justified in my 3-0 call for Solomon now.
Yeah. So you think Clips and Goods are going to come pretty lazy? What do you think Arsenal and Suge are going to come with?
I think they're going to turn up. They've never had a bad 2-on-2. Like I watched them versus Briz and Top pretty recently, and they were great. They were the Ars and Suge they should have been.
Good energy. Team. Yeah, they have good energy together. They're intense. They're
and also,
aggressive.
I think their aggression will completely nullify Goods not giving a fuck.
So. Here's the first thing. I don't ride the Goods wave. I don't fuck with someone that has no bars and no presence. I know you and I have talked about, or has no bars and lives off of presence.
And it's not even that he doesn't have bars. It's just that the bars that he does bring are just so overlookable.
Right, and in the length of any real battle. I mean, like he, as we're going to go over at some later time, he clearly lost to Top, in my opinion, which is a
Same.
highly in the minority believing that.
Which I don't get.
He could have even lost. Did you see Goods versus Billy Boondocks, that
I
one rounder?
didn't. I don't give a fuck
Billy,
about Billy Boondocks. I know
I
he
don't
got body
either, but
slammed
it's
on
a
a rooftop at
perfect.
some point.
I don't either, but it's a perfect example of what we don't want to see happening in battle rap. Like, you should take, because it's only a one rounder. You should take some time at some point just to watch it. I think it's like 15 minutes long. And Goods has a handful of decent bars in it, but he clowns on Boondocks so bad that in Billy's round, he's not even able to get through bars because people are like laughing at him and shit. So it ruined, like, there was no way he was winning that battle. And he probably has better content on his, if you like dictated out what he wrote and what Goods wrote, he probably beat the fuck out of Goods. But there's no way he was winning because of that. And I feel like
if Goods was a
him
new battler, he wouldn't be a battler.
the ass. Yeah.
If Goods wasn't an old head, he wouldn't be a battler.
I agree. And the only thing that worries me about this battle is, do you think there's a potential, because of how Goods like gets drunk and was like being a real dick to T-Top, that if Arsenal and Suge are turning up on them, Goods starts to kind of
I didn't even think about potential battle fuck ups. I didn't even think about that.
That was the first thing that came to my mind, because Goods thinks he's above. I mean, remember, he was literally talking through Top's rounds. He was telling him he was going to throw a drink in his face while Top was trying to spit. And
we don't want to see like K-Shine Part 2 with this shit.
Exactly. And not to say, like, I don't think Goods would throw a punch.
Arsenal would throw a kick and fall.
Yeah. Bars. But I don't, like, if Suge pocket taps him or some shit like that, like, I could see Goods doing enough to fuck up the battle, in other words, whether it be talking, whether it be stopping it, whether it be whatever the case may be.
Yeah, I could see this battle being like a potential event ruiner. Potential.
But going off of actually trying to call a winner and trying to base it off of what we've seen from all of these guys, I think I have Arsenal and Suge taking this 2-1.
Yeah,
I'm going to give Clips. I'm going to give Clips and Goods a round, especially if they go second off of some like Clips rebuttal.
I think they'll get the first round.
Yeah, them coming out and just being a team is going to give them enough charisma to win a round.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
But if Arsenal and Suge come out and do Arsenal and Suge and have more intensity, more bars, and are a better team, that's going to show through 3 rounds more so than Clips and Goods just being Clips and Goods for 3 rounds.
Yeah, definitely fuck with that. 2-1 for Jersey for sure.
Yep.
All right, now my favorite battle on the card. I'm so excited for this battle. Hitman and Verb versus Briz Rothstein and T-Top. Let's talk about it.
Yes, talk about it.
Let's. What can you say? It's Hitman and Verb. I mean, we all know how good Hitman and Verb are, especially as a team. Like, they've got the St. Louis chemistry. They've got Hitman's aggression.
They beat NWX.
They beat NWX.
Yep. And I would assume that because they're local enough, although, Hitman probably travels a lot for a while and out, that they have the chemistry and the preparedness. They're both vets. I'm not worried about either of them choking or slipping, anything like that. Mm-hmm. And it's Hitman back on URL.
Which, that's a big deal. They'll run around and just literally Hitman.
That's they can do what they did. They're going to win the first round when Hitman comes out and either takes the jacket off, shows a rope chain, or says one line.
I need him not to wear a chain so we don't have shitty audio.
Have the mic. Oh my God. How have battlers still not figured this out in 2017?
No one gives a fuck, dude. You have to look good while you battle.
Facts.
All right, but one thing that I know will happen with this battle, or at least hope doesn't happen but may, is I hope that they don't do what Verb and Ill did, where they split around each.
Oh, did they all? Yeah, they had single rounds, right?
Yeah, like Verb and there was a young Ill round. There was a little bit of Verb interaction, but then there was Verb's round doing Showtime for 2 minutes right after that. Both good rounds, but not what I want out of a 2-on-2. I want Hitman and Verb on full teamwork mode out the gate.
Yeah, what's that bar from that 2-on-2 they had? Like, we know the drill, back to back now, and they're like back to back, like talking about getting jumped from 40 people.
Yep.
Like, I need them on that with the performance, with I don't like. I think we're gonna get that though. I'm not really that worried that we're not gonna see a great Verb at Hitman.
No, I'm not worried about that either. I'm not worried about there not being a good Briz top either.
That's not even a concern. The biggest concern for me is Briz is probably my favorite person on URL right now. There's no doubt about that. I think he's probably got the highest stock given his past few performances. And if people aren't there yet, I think when they see this Ill Will battle,
he will be Top Gun after this Ill Will battle drops.
Right. That being said, we've also seen him and T-Top against B Magic and Chilla and beat Magic and Chilla. That's how our basis that we have. I don't know
if they beat Suge and Arse.
Yeah, and I'm worried that like Hitman and Verb are just going to be too good for them to beat, and it's going to stunt Top and like it's literally taking the two best gunners right now on URL and putting them against probably the hardest thing they could face on URL, right? Like the final boss.
But let's talk some soft factors of this battle really quickly. One, we give Hitman and Verb a lot of credit for being Hitman and Verb, both as people and as a unit. And it's not to say that they didn't have a fire-ass performance against NWX, but it was just one performance.
That's true. That's definitely true. We're kind of basing a lot off of one a little bit.
Exactly. Two, this battle is in New York.
Oh,
this battle is in New York.
Do you think we have a potential for Verb to get booed?
Yes, there's always that potential in New York. Niggas go to the events.
I am a rooster.
Exactly.
Nah.
He would never do that in this battle, I hope. But the potential for them to get booed or just all around not felt is there, even if it is Hitman's return.
Right.
It's not like people forgot the Hitman battled Suge and didn't do great.
Right.
That's all I can think of for soft factors of this battle, but still, those are important to consider. Which that might help out Briz and T-Top. Like, they're not local either, but they don't hate where they're from as much. There wasn't a beef between NC and New York.
I think as far as popularity goes, Briz and T-Top are, you might actually argue, are more popular right now than the Hitman and Verb team will be, and that's probably more so because of Verb's dispopularity or unpopularity.
Dispopularity. Hold on, they didn't even catch that.
No, heyo, over the head bars. Can you call a winner? Do you have a winner? Do you know who is going to win this battle?
The culture wins.
I like that. I like that cop out. I like that.
It's the best I can do.
I am going to say, this is the thing. If you look at these in like one-on-one situations, I can see Top beating Verb. Here's the crazy thing. I can see Briz beating Hitman.
Yeah, me too. But the reason I can
in
see
like
that
a battle of the year performance out the Wit building, like crazy bars, crowd going nuts, 60-minute battle because of it.
But the thing
Briz
is,
gone through 4 waters and breathing heavy every round. Like I can see that.
The thing is, like, if that battle ever happened, which now that you've put it in the air, I really hope it does. Let's talk to Smack if we need to. What I think is that Hitman will have his usual great first round and then a waning performance. Briz doesn't have that problem.
No,
Briz is like,
if anything,
Hitman
he somehow,
and then
if anything, he rises.
Which
I agree.
I would say the fact that Hollow the Don puts you in the 4 people he'd want to battle and give respect to, that matters, man.
That's the biggest accolade that you can receive from someone that's involved in your own culture.
Exactly. And the fact that Hollow wants to battle Briz, that means Briz is a killer.
Yeah. I mean, you're looking at someone who most people would probably renown as the best battler, whether it be just his most impact or the fact that he's been on Adult Swim and done all these other things. Whatever reason you want to give it, he's up there. He's kind of like the GOAT status. And you have this guy that's like Michael Jordan saying if he was going to come back, he would only play with this guy, or this guy. Mm-hmm. Like, that's what you want to hear,
Yep. Okay, so what do you said Briz and Top?
Yeah, I'm going to say Briz and Top. And now that you mention it, Hitman does have the usual MO of having the Hitman firsts. And as long as we can get over the hump of Verb in New York, I think the love for Hitman being back in the first round will be greater than anything. And then I think, like you said, we might see that start to wane. And I'll go 2-1, Briz and top, with Hitman and Verb taking the first.
Okay. All right. Now let's talk about my least favorite battle on this card, just because we have to.
Just because it's on the card.
Yeah, exactly. Young Miles, aka Midwest Miles. The fuck? When did you change it and why? An X Factor versus NWX.
All right, so we've got Benjamin Button Miles, who's getting younger as time goes on.
Bars.
Can we just say like NWX and be done with it? I mean,
yeah.
I'd rather pick the consistent team than the guys that haven't battled in forever. You know, and I think these guys were like, I'm gonna be honest with you, like who reached out to them? Who was like, yo, we need X Factor and Midwest Miles back on this card?
I don't know. They couldn't fit them on Ascension. That's probably what it was.
Like, maybe, you know, and then I don't know. Is it because Surf's in jail that they didn't want to do gun titles versus NWX round 3? I would rather see that. I think at this.
Ooh, wait, hold on. So let me paint you a picture really quickly. We're gonna go off that. I don't care about this battle. NWX, move on.
Okay.
Say we've got these 4 teams for the next Double Impact. We've got Hitman Verb. No, these 5.
Yep. Okay.
I'll pick a 6th if I can. We've got Hitman Verb.
Yeah.
Briz and Top.
Okay.
Gun titles. Surf gets out of jail somehow.
Sure. He said he's got 2 lawyers in his interview today, and he said that it doesn't look that bad for him. He might be all right. So it's plausible.
All right. So yeah, we got
Free Sue Surf.
Gun titles, St. Louis, Dark Side.
Are we throwing Rum Nitty and Ill Will in there again?
Hold on. There's like another top team. Oh, Marvin Quest. Duh.
Yep.
Those 4. Now I need 2 more. Suge and Arse and Nitty and Will. Those 6 teams. How would you?
Okay.
Who would you have battle who? I think that's difficult.
Okay. All right. I thought you were gonna ask me to like power rank them.
We might do that.
Oh man. Okay, so matchup wise, I think you have to put. We'll answer them both at the same time because power ranking it will help us to make the matchup happen. And I think I'm comfortable in saying Marv and Quest are the number 1 team still. I think they're the team to beat on URL.
Yeah. Well, it's hard for me to choose between them and gun titles as the top of the top.
Well, that was the battle that would have happened had Surf not been in jail.
Also, something to keep in mind is I think I'm very comfortable giving gun titles the title of having the best 2 rounds of any 2-on-2 ever, like overall.
What, the third from their second one where they did that?
The first 2 from the first time they battled NWX, those rounds are legendary.
Before the shot, yeah.
You can't.
I could see
first
that.
of all, it was the first time they'd ever teamed up. They came with innovative bars. They came with like all fire. They came with every haymaker hitting. They had chemistry. They were joking around on the stage.
I agree with you, and I would say it's probably pretty easy to put those 2 teams up in the matchup. In terms of answering the first, like your question,
I would also like to see gun titles versus St. Louis though, and that's my problem.
Yeah, but I guess the thing that kind of makes me feel a little bit better about not seeing that one first would be that we've seen Surf and Hitman, so we've never seen Rock and Verb. But
do we want to see Rock and Verb?
No, not any. There was probably a time where it would have made sense before Verb got bodied by Shine. And still had like a pretty high stock on URL, but I think ever since
ashamed of that battle,
yeah,
I was such a Verb
ever since
fan
Verb lost to Shine, he's never gonna get a big marquee battle on URL again unless he has some crazy. And I don't think he's gonna be battling that much longer to do that.
Nah.
So then let's see. So I'm gonna say I would have Marvin Quest against gun titles in that hypothetical for sure.
Okay.
And then you have Ill Will and Rum Nitty.
I'd have them battle Suge and Arse, actually.
Yep, absolutely would put them against Suge and Arse.
And Top Briz versus St. Louis. See, on this card, I would like Top Briz versus St. Louis.
Yeah, I like our version better than the current Double Impact.
Yeah, it probably would cost a lot more, though.
So, what is your overall? Give me a 1 to 10. How do you rate this card?
Uh, Double Impact 2. I think I'll give this like a 7 out of 10. 7 out of
7 out
10.
of 10. All right, that's kind of about I think where I'm at with it as well.
All right.
I would agree with you.
All right. We've been at this for a bit, but I want to keep it going. We got stuff we need to get through.
So let's run over.
We
You
should
want to?
go over a battle that just came out today. Let's do this
So
now.
let's go over the DNA and A word then.
All right, we can do
You
that.
might as well highlight it.
We just watched this battle before we started doing this podcast, and it's pretty fresh. We took some notes. We didn't do the nameless point system, but we feel like we got a pretty good handle on who we say won this battle in retrospect. Because I know a lot of people already viewed it on the pay-per-view and judged it and moved on. But let's talk about it. Let's talk about DNA's round 1. Pick your favorite bar out before we go through our notes.
All right. So just to highlight for anyone, it's a DNA and A word from Blackout 7. Just dropped today, June 5th. My favorite bar out of his entire first round would probably be that whole, I don't know if it would be just that one round or one bar. It would be the whole mental ward scheme that he had that ended with the peel with the arms over the body like a mental ward.
Yeah.
Like, which was towards the end of his round. But he was kind of hitting a lot of ward flips at the end there, and they were all solid. And that was definitely what I liked most out of his round. And that, like I said, I'm not a huge, I find DNA to be very like formulatic and simple in a majority of his rounds. So for him to catch something to me that I actually enjoyed is saying something.
Yeah, I can fuck with that. I definitely have a problem with DNA when he does his like same word over and over type schemes in a battle. Like when he battled Pass, he deaded the past.
Oh my God.
Past to the future concept for over 3 rounds.
Yeah, he did the same thing with Ilmac and was calling him Max and Mac and all kinds of different things. See, like he just
overdoes it. This was a time when he did it one time in the battle. He did it for like 8 bars, maybe 16 of flipping A Ward's name. They were good. He didn't overdo it, and that was the last we heard of it. Okay, so I'll give you that. That mental ward scheme was actually pretty hard. I think if I had to pick, I'd probably say his best room shaker was that light when hit in different places twice, like when lightning hits or something like that. That bar. I think that's probably my favorite from that round.
I mean, overall, he had a really good round. It was an energetic DNA. It was a good return for him on the KOTD.
Not a lot of dry spots.
No, definitely not. And to kind of segue into A Ward's first round, we'll get over. And A Ward starts to kind of start off a little slower. I think it was you that mentioned he kind of takes a long time to get to the punch, don't you think?
Yeah, he's got the problem that a lot of old school grind time battlers have, where they're writing 16s between punches. And it used to be interesting if you've got the performance to continually build to a haymaker like that. But it's got to be 16 bars of payoff, and he doesn't always hit it.
Yeah, you're right. I think, he started out kind of flat with that rebuttal, which when you have a flat rebuttal, it just sets a terrible tone for your battle. Like you're already winning over the crowd. Like you have to say something after that just to be back like above water, like you're not even like hitting at that point. You're just getting back to like fighting. Did you have a favorite bar in his round? Was it the PG class or I know you liked the Nintendo's. I know what mine was.
I think if I gotta pick a bar that I liked the most, it was definitely that PG class and then that under the weight class concept he did with him. That was good.
I liked that. I think that was probably one of the first bars he had that hit too, which helped. Like that was kind of him building
a reality check thing was okay.
Yeah, that was cool too. I would say my favorite thing in that round was that whole rock steady, that little 16 like rapping segment he did. Yeah, and the reason being is it was the first time where you actually like saw some A word or heard something unique in the round. The rest of the round, if you didn't watch the battle, if you were just listening to it, it was like the same level all the way throughout. And then all of a sudden there was just a peak, and it was that. And so for that,
and A word doesn't always have bad performance. He doesn't even really have bad performance. He's more just
not at all
flat performance when standing next to DNA. Like when he did that flow switch with the rock steady
he's
thing,
a little bland.
Yeah. When he did that flow switch, I was like, okay, you can show me your rapping. You got triplets in there. Your rhyme scheme's really good. And the punch was decent punch. Like it caught my attention. First round for sure, DNA.
Definitely. I would agree with you. Going into the second, I feel like DNA had kind of the same level of like content and just the same setup with everything, the same flow and structure. But like I was saying when we were listening to it, the way that he structures his bars helps him get reaction at the end of every line.
Oh yeah, for
And
sure.
it definitely lends a hand to where I think a lot of times he has a lot of like kind of simplistic or overdone stuff.
Like if you need a battle rapper's guide to how to structure a round, look no further than DNA.
Yeah. I feel like DNA would be like the first person who read the book on how to write battle rap for dummies. You know, like he really took it straight off the book and just plagiarized it and never changed it up for himself.
But he made it work.
Yeah, and you know you can't really knock him because he's the one or two most viewed. He bounces back and forth with Arsenal, and granted he has a lot of battles, but he has a lot of battles and he's still getting booked.
And also still putting out good material. Like there was
Yeah.
a lull in there when he was Baby Clips for a little bit and everyone was getting sick of it. But then he mixed up with Shine and revamped and it worked.
Yep. I think he had a decent round. My favorite thing in it. My favorite thing in it was probably the bullets. I'm gonna have bullets running Aaron like a busy day.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
I know we kind of also talked about his whole mystery machine. I don't know if you want to touch on that a little bit.
I don't, but I will. You're gonna make me.
I want you to get at him and then tell me what you liked about the round. I know you didn't like that about the round, so let's hear that.
All right, let's get into it. Okay, so he sets up the bar. I'll grab the mystery machine. First of all, I have a problem when battle rappers name their guns very obvious things you would never call a gun. You would never call that your mystery machine.
Come on, you don't have a mystery machine at home?
See, listen to it. Listen to it in regular conversation. It doesn't sound good.
God.
But the crowd fucked with this bar because mystery machine, Scooby-Doo being the punch. Oh, I get it.
Everyone got it.
That.
Yep. And it was in his standard DNA formula.
Yep. And it like again, it's good for a battle rapper. It's not a good bar though. What my favorite bar was, I think it was one of the bars that got slept on. It was if not a biggie, a big apparel rock 'em like a Coogee brand or something like that.
Right. Yeah, that's the one that you kind of had to like explain to me too. Yeah. But yeah, I definitely got slept on.
I wore Coogee back in the day. My dad passed some down to me, so I was like, okay, I fucked with that. I know it was Biggie's brand that he repped with and shit. And Biggie apparel, like that's good.
Yeah, it's okay.
There was also another bar that got slept on that it deserved to get slept on because it's a boy band bar, but it like contextually and structurally, it's a good bar. Nickel on the Backstreet, I'll give Aaron Carter Pop. But Carter Pop and Aaron being A-Ward, like I like that. Nickelback, Backstreet Boys, whatever. I like.
Yeah, that. I had a hard time with that one, but that could be just because I'm more like apt to critique DNA because I don't particularly like how he sets things up. Fair. And I've also heard like I'm sure you've heard it too. Like we've heard the Carter like pop, you know, like either from JC or whatever. Like we've heard that exact phrase used before.
It's battle rap.
So I always Right, exactly.
I just like hearing how you get it.
Yeah, I can respect that. I think I think DNA had a better first round than a second one. I'm going to leave as far as DNA critique goes as that.
DNA bit a concept in this round from Ryda. And I don't know who Ryda bit it from. Remember at the end of his round that this one Verb, this one Caustic, they both don't back out on Blackout?
Oh, right.
But Ryda had his thing against Chef Trez where it was like Prez Mafia and something. John, I doubled the steal. That's what it was.
Yeah. Yep.
Just the concept. Yeah, I don't think Ryda was the first person to do that.
No, probably not.
But I remember him being one of the most recent people I heard do it.
Yep. What do you think of A-Ward's second round?
Honestly, it was really, really lackluster, but he had bars I liked way better.
Look at our notes. We have like 4 lines for A-Word. There's like almost nothing. I mean,
know, but the stuff I kept, is the stuff I really liked out of this second round. DNA won. Let me keep that straight. DNA won this round, full on.
Yeah,
But the
I
stuff
agree
I
with you.
liked the best came out of A Ward. It was like that Chipotle traffic at lunch line.
That's my favorite line I think he has in that round,
I think
honestly,
that's my
because it's a
favorite
good
line we had in the
observation and attack. Yeah, you might be right. It's a good observational attack on DNA because it points fun at how he sets everything up,
and
and it is
also
a good
talking about the
punch.
gun. It's a gun bar too, and it's a good gun bar, like a
Yeah,
really
yeah,
good gun bar. And it
yeah.
just came out of A Ward.
Yep. It's on multiple levels a good bar. So I would that's probably his best bar of the battle. You might be right.
And he even did the thing he did in the first round where he changed his flow up to make this one hit. He needs to do that more,
Yes,
a
yes,
lot
because
more.
he displays that he can rap, so he needs to tap into it more.
Yep. And also there was pull strings, lights out, lower your blinds. Like that's a good bar. That's
Yeah,
good.
it was a better round, I think, than his first one. I would say.
Yeah. But then like
Uh
right after that, like he started this abbreviation scheme that starts decent. It starts
y-
pretty good. But then he gives up on it really quickly. And you thought it was going to be something he kept going to like a haymaker that just never comes. And then the concept
yeah,
dies, but he keeps the same rhyme scheme going. And then he just kind of gets into a longer section about who he is as a rapper, ends it with his opening his jacket to saying, "I'm wearing this Jesus Saves shirt on the live stream." Cool, there's no punch though. And it
yeah,
took you the
exactly.
rest of your round to get to that, which I guess if you're going for a performance punch, which is a thing, okay, you get a little bit of credit for that. Like there was a lot of build up, you performed it decently well. It's just not that great.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you, and I think that it's pretty clear after these two rounds that DNA's already won the battle.
Yeah, it is.
You know, so then we go into round three. Round three, DNA leaves the door open for at least A Ward to take a round
And
because he starts out with bad flips. And he has a bad opener.
like his YTG thing that he was doing, I don't get what the point was really. It didn't go
Yeah,
anywhere.
no, he literally named everybody in Yellow Tape Gang and tried to correlate them to like some type of punch based on their attributes.
But it really didn't go
And
anywhere. Like he said,
it
Bonnie
was
wants to be
filler.
on
It
Wild and
was
Out, but
filler.
now she on a Dyke Squad. Like,
Yeah, and I hope
cool.
Mike P. Hadoukens enough to like
Make a nice scheme or some shit. Like that's not a punch, DNA.
no,
You just
no.
named the people he's in a crew with.
Yeah, he started out with a ton of fillers. The best way to put it.
Then the first bar that he comes back with that saved it was, "I'll get Adam to even Sun out so y'all can see that I'm able." That's fire.
Yep. I was a little hard on it at first, but we did some Bible research, and I'm okay with it.
Yeah, it was a good. I knew it offhand, but I had to fact check that. Yeah, it's a good bar. And then there was a section where he was talking about how Mike P's not really your friend. I'm just waiting on P to betray you. Like that's decent too.
Yeah, he picks up, and I don't know so much if he picks up because the first was so much filler, or if he picks up because the second half of his final round is just written better. I guess it's probably a bit of both because, like you don't get a pass for putting bucks in a round. This ain't a collection plate. That's a
Like
good
that's good.
bar.
That's good.
Yeah, the rule maker, legislate,
Yeah, that's also
and then
good.
he ends with probably like one of his best bars of the battle. That whole "you preach the word, I keep my word." Our response is different.
But
Like
there's
that
so
whole
much
setup into
left of
that was
that
good.
round after that.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, like we said, he definitely leaves it open for A Ward to take the round. At least it's already too late at this point for A Ward to win the battle.
Now, something I need to address about DNA's round really quickly is something that like it's a New Yorker thing, and I get that in New York this is how you say it. It's heroin, heroin, but
Yep,
everyone in
yep.
New York says heron, and they can get away with
Yeah,
making that stretch.
I
Heron,
hear I
Huron.
hear it here at CT sometimes too.
Yeah, I don't get it. Like it's a slang thing I get, and I get that's why we let them get away with it, but that's not.
Where did it? Yeah, where it was derived from is strange, obviously.
And you can't say so from heroin out instead of so from heron out.
Yeah.
Like if New
Um.
Yorkers didn't say heron for the word heroin, the bar so from here on out don't use God's name in vain wouldn't work.
What about I mean, just looking at the notes that we have for A Ward's third, I mean, it was. I have here that he takes the third round.
I
Um.
can't pick any of his material. It just was a better round from him rapping, I guess.
Yeah.
There wasn't
Yeah.
much to put, like the lie through your teeth, and you can literally do that. That was good. That was fun.
Yeah, that was the only thing after listening to the round that either of us had remembered.
Yep.
Yep. I mean, just to not harp on the battle for too long, I think it's a pretty clear 2-1 for DNA.
If not a
I think,
3-0, depending on your preference.
but I think it's too bad that A Ward kind of is coming off of a way better performance with Real Deal.
Yeah.
But I think it was also a way better matchup. Like looking at it in retrospect, I think A Ward and DNA is kind of just a strange matchup. It's not something I ever would have picked to put down on paper and see.
Definitely not. But I'm not mad that it happened. It just didn't equate to much. DNA won. He's better than people that are not as good battlers. Surprise.
Yeah. Do you think this hurts A Ward's stock at all? Like, does he get a lesser opponent on his next KOTD stage?
Honestly, no, because more people are going to watch this because DNA's in it.
Yeah.
This is nothing but a good move for his stock.
I think KOTD is a lot more forgiving of bad battles too. I mean, look how good of a rise Joe and I had still after the Diz battle.
Yeah.
For a little bit. I mean, he definitely got stunted. And I think that A Ward is still new enough too, where like, you know, whatever opponent he gets next, people are still going to look forward to seeing.
Yeah, but at this point, he gets to brag about the fact that he got DNA now. That's going to do wonders for his persona.
Was one point. That was one point in, was it his first round, his closer, where he said, just remember, it took you 100 battles to get me. It only took me 8 to get you. You know, I mean, that is kind of a fact, although that's not how you look at it.
But it's a fact. He can say, hey, I battled DNA. I have higher stock than you. I'm up a tier now.
Right.
Right.
So let's see. We've run over the most current battle that dropped today on one of the major leagues.
Got some cards talked about.
Yep, we've run over the 2 major cards coming up.
Let's talk about what we're watching lately. What are we watching?
Well, most recently, I think the battle that you and I have watched that we enjoyed the most was probably Show Off versus St. Mike.
This battle was good, and I've never said this was good about a Show Off battle. Anyone on the sub that knows me knows I don't like Show Off.
That's a fact. I definitely do not as well. I think he's one of those guys that tries to like overtly sell his cockiness to the point where he just has no believability. Yep. Like hearing him say that he 3-0'd people like Big K and then listening to that battle and him not even beating Big K.
But
he was just so far off of, like, he's just so far off the planet that I can never take anything he says and run with it.
Yeah, but this battle with St. Mike, this is a good battle from him.
This is a great battle from him, and I think everything about this battle lends to people needing to go out and watch this battle. If you don't know who St. Mike is,
you need to
you need to check out for him. I mean, he's been around for a while. He's got battles against people like Young X. He's got a battle against A Ward. He's got tons of battles out there, actually.
And he's about to be on an upcoming URL card, too, against Tone Montana, I think.
Yep, he is. And I think, you know, Tone is a good battler. Obviously, he gets a ton of flack because he's not consistent at all. But I think even the best Tone will absolutely lose to St. Mike. My only concern is that sometimes the way that St. Mike can rap and the complexities in it and just how it's kind of layered, I hope that URL doesn't bail on him in his in his rounds too early.
I think that given the place that battle is going to take place at, there should be a small enough crowd in there that his intricacies can shine through. Because he's got haymakers in there. It's just that he is really intricate. Let me use that to segue into the round of this battle you need to pay the most attention to. Second round from St. Mike, and I also want to say Show Off second, or was it his third?
No, it's both of their seconds, I think. If you're thinking of where Show Off has like the whole Knight King Arthur scheme, I believe it's both their seconds that are really like the highlights of the battle.
Really great. Now, something that I love about St. Mike, and this is the first battle I'd ever seen by him, but I'm instantly a fan, is he is unique as shit with the way he writes. He is doing internal raps within his internals, within the same rhyme scheme, but every internal is a punch until he gets back to the rhyme scheme that he was doing originally, which is also his haymaker. It's crazy.
Yeah.
His round structure is crazy.
Shouts to me for introducing you to him, I guess. Really, I'll pat myself on the back for that.
I'll give it to you. Shouts to you.
No, I really like St. Mike. I think he's a perfect mixture of someone who can be gritty, aggressive. He seems this is something that a lot of people probably don't care about, but to me, it's always just like a hidden factor that if you do this, I personally enjoy you more as a battler. But he's respectable of the other person's rounds. Like Show Off is overly aggressive to annoyingly like trying to throw someone off. And throughout the entire battle, it just doesn't seem to phase St. Mike at all. And I believe he mentions that like he spent like 7 years in jail. So, I mean, it's not someone that you want to be like play fighting with if you're really trying to take it there.
He's got clean like presence.
Yeah, I agree. And I think that, like you said, between the uniqueness of his second round, sometimes the way he kind of stretches and wraps words reminds me of Chilla.
Yeah, I could see that.
But in a way more entertaining. Like it's way easier to stick with him through all of that than it is with Chilla. How Chilla's like, it depends if I tire her when she's exhausted. You know, like you don't get any of that.
None of that hard stretching to make sure you get it kind of shit.
Right. He kind of leaves it for you to catch it, and because of how well he's rapping, you're catching it.
Yeah. All right. So definitely check out Show Off or St. Mike. I think that's on what? We Go Hard?
Yes, it is on We Go Hard, and that dropped 5 weeks ago now. So you got to go back a little bit. Yep, you got to go back a little bit to find it.
The other battle I'm going to recommend for this week for this podcast: Prez Mafia and Craig Lamar. Now, again, anyone that knows me knows I'm a Prez Mafia fan, which
this is a fact, and it's highly debated.
Let's not talk about Prez and Moneybags. That's what to skip, by the way, this week. If you're looking to not watch a battle, don't watch Prez Mafia and Moneybags.
Yeah, mouse right past that one and pick another one, folks.
But Prez and Craig were both in their bags, which, speaking of Craig Lamar, he's kind of got the JC effect where every time he comes with a good performance against someone who would probably matter for his career, for some reason they just turn the fuck up on him. Prez 30'd Craig Lamar, and Craig Lamar still had material I wanted to hear. I can't remember.
I'm not going to be able to call it because I remember watching it with you. I remember us both thoroughly enjoying it and saying it was a great battle. And I know you being a bigger Prez fan, you were probably more apt to lean to Prez either way. So I'm not going to call it in terms of a round, but I remember it being a very entertaining battle. And just, you know, Craig is a great battler. We've discussed before. I think Craig would do really well on KOTD.
He would.
Against a lot of opponents.
He would.
And Prez, you know, for people that are still harping on him bar stealing, like, yeah, okay, he did it. It sucked. But before and after he's done that, he's had a lot of great material that is clearly his own.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, at the end of the day,
stole an entire round and a verse and we let him get away with it.
Facts. Just because he said Jada voice before he said it.
Yep.
Yeah, I think it's a great battle. I think Craig in general probably deserves to get a little more shine because he doesn't battle on the big leagues like that. And I think he probably could.
Last few battles too.
Yeah, who has he? So he's lost to JC. Yeah, who else has he battled?
Did he battle Chef Trez? Am I imagining?
He did.
That?
He did battle Chef Trez. I think that was before JC. But yeah, he absolutely battled Chef Trez.
Okay. Hold on. We gonna check the file. It's cool.
I got you.
I'm on it.
I'm the stat guy. Craig Lamar's last battles: Prez Mafia, Big Cannon, which he lost to.
Him. I heard and watched that battle.
Yep. He battled Blick the Barbarian, which I absolutely did not watch. That was on Bullpen. Before that, he battled JC.
He won, but I don't know.
Yeah,
before that, he battled JC Bourne and Rum Nitty. Yeah, no.
Yeah, and I think all three of those are losses. And like you said, those are all formidable opponents. You know, it's they're understanding losses, but I mean, at some point, you have to be able to beat people to rise up in the ranks.
I'm a little less understanding of losing to Bourne, just a little.
Yeah, that's yeah. Of the three, I would say that's the one that he most likely should have had.
It's like losing to KG the Poet. Just can't take it.
Yep. So what else do you want to cover?
Just the last thing I want to go over is what we're waiting on. Where the battles at, Smack? Where they at?
Yeah, some battles that haven't dropped. So for people that haven't kept up on the pay-per-views or maybe have forgotten with their busy lives, there's still a handful of battles out there that we're waiting to drop that are phenomenal battles. Just to rattle off a few for you, and we'll talk about them. Just from Gnome, what was it, Gnome 7? I believe it was Gnome 7, right? The Tay Rock and Chess and Ill Will and Briz
Yep.
and Topping Goods. Those are all Gnome 7 battles
Just
we're waiting
on them.
Yep. If anyone purchased the pay-per-view up until about last week when I last checked, you can still watch them on there. They said they were going to take them down months ago, but, in typical URL fashion, you can't. So I would highly suggest going and watching any of these battles. Let's start with Ill Will and Briz really quickly, because I know we both regard that as probably the best battle of the event.
Yeah, that might be the best battle of this year.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. We're probably going to catch a lot of flack for that.
You can give me flack, but I won't be wrong.
Yeah, we're big Briz fans anyways, and people will use that to try to defend it. But you watch this battle, and you're going to appreciate it just as much as we do, I think.
And if you don't, I don't know what's wrong with you, and I'm sorry.
Yeah, real quick, I'm going to say Briz had did we call it a clear 30?
We called
it's
it
like one of those 30s,
but we called it a clear 30. But it was another Fresco Thesaurus type battle where where Ill Will was on. He was good. He was in his bag as Ill Will, but then he faced Briz Rothstein.
It's like the JC and Chef Trez effect.
Yep.
You can't be mad. Ill Will came with 3 rounds that were unique, very well written,
hilarious,
that were strong and would have beaten a lot of other opponents. His second round, he used the concept that, the whole Lux concept that was probably my favorite thing of the event. And he almost won that round for me based off of his first 16 or 20 alone.
But
just
somehow,
Briz brings it back. And that's a testament to how good of a battler he is, because every time you think there's no way he can top something, he tops it.
Yeah.
And he's just consistent. I mean, his resume is unreal. I think if we were to include some section later on down the road where we highlight a battler of the week or a battler of the month, he would probably be the first person I would pick, because his last handful of battles are against gigantic legendary names, and he's 30ing them. He's not even just beating them. He's decisively beating them.
Which not a lot of people can say they've 30'd Arsenal. I know that doesn't seem like something you should brag about, but this was a good arse. You should brag about that.
Yeah. So we've got a 30, or if you want to be real generous, a 2-1 for Briz against Ill Will that we're still waiting on. We've got a Tay Rock and Chess. Oh man, let's save Topping Goods, because there's one thing that both of us should touch on about that battle that I know we're both itching to. Tay Rock and Chess, for those who haven't seen it, Chess has a phenomenal round 1. It comes out basically, I guess Tay Rock had called up Surf and told Surf that basically Chess looks like a mini them. He's like a demigod up there.
Which I'm happy to hear, because Chess has been top tier for a year plus now. And people just keep denying it, and that's fine. I get it.
Well,
he's
he
still
also
the young
didn't
kid.
really find his lane. Of those 3 guys, Briz kind of found his lane as being one of the top guys. He was in front of Briz for a while, and Chess he didn't take a 2-on-2, or he didn't go with NWA. He stayed with Steams, which is way off the radar.
Yeah.
He does get the same critique often that his rounds are very long, which is absolutely true.
They're not structured the best.
Right. But like you said, he's young. He's got the most longevity left in this game as of right now, and the most room to grow.
Yeah, and the thing about it is he doesn't really have much more room to grow. His round structure is really the only thing you can harp on him for, and he brings such long rounds that they've got all fire in them somewhere.
Yeah, his problem isn't that he's not crafting good rounds. His problem is he needs to condense them, which is, of the 2 problems, the one you'd rather have.
Yeah, definitely.
You'd rather be able to not have. I'd rather have too much fire than not enough.
Exactly.
Chess versus
and then
Arsenal, finally,
by the way, do you want to see that?
Ooh, Chess versus Arsenal.
I'd like to see that.
I could. I guess I'm just realistically thinking with how many battles Arsenal probably has left, we won't. But yeah, I could. I could see it working. I don't know. It's not something I would have thought of ahead of time.
Chess debuting on UW with it though.
That would make that would give me a little more reason to want to see it, because seeing Arsenal and chess on URL doesn't really fit any
Excite.
bill for me.
Yeah. All right. Cool. But yeah, so we're expecting a demigod type performance from Chess. I haven't heard anything about Tay Rock's performance against Chess, but I haven't heard anything bad, so that's a good thing.
All I remember is that it was a pretty decisive, I think, 2-1, with Chess taking the first and then Tay Rock turning up as his usual self for the final too.
Okay. All right, let's talk about it. Last thing we're going to talk about, but let's talk about it. Top and goods.
Yep. Top and goods. So
let me disclaim.
Go
you
ahead.
can turn off the podcast right now if you think that goods won. You're not going to hear that here.
No.
What you're about to hear is our unpopular opinions. Top beat goods, clearly.
Absolutely. Anyone who is going to come in here and watch that battle and think that talking through somebody's rounds and having a quarter of the amount of content per round is trumped by just looking cooler on stage and pretending to not care what the other person is saying is, in my opinion, missing the whole concept of what battle rap is about.
Charisma doesn't win battles, goddammit.
It doesn't. It doesn't. I want to see what you wrote down, what you said, and I want to rate that. I don't want to rate what you're looking like.
Let me rephrase. Charisma cannot win battles alone.
Right.
Charisma should not be all you have.
Right. And I don't want to take away from the fact that goods in every round had some material that we both enjoyed.
Because it was there. I'm not a goods hater. I think he did lose to Top, though.
I think he decisively lost to Top, and I think that he just doesn't have. He's not going to keep up in an era where people are spitting 3 to 5 minute rounds of tons of content. He can't. He can be a 1-round battler in a place where he has these Billy Boondocks-esque battles like he just had, where he's in a room or with a bunch of other battlers and people that enjoy him, and he wins battles off of that. But
I don't see him with smaller leagues. Don't be goods where
go do your 1-round battles on We Go Hard and places like that, and don't try to come onto a URL main stage where people are expecting 8 or 10 minutes of great content from you, and you've got 2 of them layered around 8 other minutes of bullshit.
Yep.
That's how I feel. So I have that. I don't remember if it's a 3-0 or a 2-1, but it's a definite win for Top. And I hope when the battle drops, a lot of people kind of get off of Goods' dick in that sense.
I feel no shame in saying top 30 goods, and it will show on cam. I said it when the live stream happened. They were all on the stream. Even the other bloggers were on stream saying, "Oh yeah, I really think that goods got top 3-0," and the crowd was chanting 3-0. That's fine. Spin that narrative. When you watch it back, you won't agree.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's pretty much all we wanted to cover in our first recording here, our first podcast.
I think that was solid. We got through a lot. If any of y'all actually made it through, shout outs to our rap battles. Definitely the best battle rap sub or forum or conversation place out there. Check it out on Reddit if you haven't been there or seen it before.
I think that's pretty much it. I'm going to sign off as Juice. Thanks, everybody, for listening.
It's been Vito and Juice here. Catch you guys later.
Run it back.